Hey guys, how's it going? Get ready for a real trip down memory lane. If you grew up blasting enemy ships in classics like R-Type, Gradius, or Metal Slug, this video is for you. Today we're diving into 12 new shoot-'em-up games that recapture all the adrenaline and retro charm of the arcades, but with a modern twist that will surprise you. I'm Matthew, and we're starting the list with R-Type Delta HD Boosted, a remastered version of the classic space shooter game R-Type Delta, originally released for PlayStation in 1998. The game promises to bring back the frantic 2D shooting experience with enhanced high-definition graphics and quality-of-life improvements. The release is scheduled for 2025 on various platforms. The game maintains the classic side-scrolling shoot-'em-up gameplay, where the player controls a spaceship to destroy enemies and bosses in challenging levels. Players can choose from 3 ships, each with its own characteristics and abilities, and utilize the iconic Force system to defend or attack. Set in 2163, the game presents a dark and engaging science fiction narrative, told mainly through environmental and visual elements. After the destruction of an orbital platform, the R9A Delta ship is sent to face the threat of the Bido Empire. The tense atmosphere and polygonal aesthetic, characteristic of the original PlayStation era, are preserved and enhanced in the remastered version. TerraTech Legion is an action and survival game in which players build and pilot vehicles to combat an alien threat known as the Legion. The game is set in a planetary system under attack by a wave of AI robots seeking to assimilate everything in their path. As a tech jockey, the player must build custom vehicles equipped with weapons and defenses to combat the robots, destroy enemy bases, and prevent the planet's corruption. The game emphasizes creative vehicle construction and adaptation to different environmental challenges and enemies. One of the central points of TerraTech Legion is the freedom of vehicle construction. Players can use a variety of blocks to create vehicles of all types, from robust tanks to fast and agile ships. New blocks can be obtained in reward boxes earned by defeating enemies and destroying Legion bases. The game features different corporations with unique construction strategies, allowing players to specialize in different playstyles, such as brute force, speed, or advanced firepower. This customization is fundamental to success in the game, as players must adapt their vehicles to the specific challenges of each level. TerraTech Legion introduces characters representing corporations from the TerraTech universe. Each corporation has a unique playstyle and allows players to earn block bucks by collecting resources and trading them at the end of a match. The game features various locations with different interactions and challenges that players must overcome to obtain rewards. The release of Gradius Origins marks the return of Konami's classic shoot 'em up series. The collection, which will be released on August 7, 2025, includes 6 arcade games from the franchise, along with 17 different versions of them, covering regional and hardware variations. The main novelty is the inclusion of Salamander 3, a completely new title that maintains the pixel art style of the originals. In addition, the collection brings the Gradius 3AM show version, which has never been released for home consoles before. In terms of gameplay, the game is based on the horizontal scrolling formula that made the series famous. The player controls the Vic Viper ship, navigating through scenarios full of enemies and facing giant bosses. A notable technical aspect is the power-up system by meter, which allows players to collect items to choose and activate improvements, such as speed, missiles, and lasers. This system is a central element that requires the player to manage their resources strategically to survive the phases. Konami, along with developer M2, has incorporated new features to modernize the experience and make it more accessible. Among the additions are an invincible mode, the possibility of saving progress at any time, and a rewind function to correct errors. Pubg Blindspot, a new tactical top-down shooter game, is the latest addition to the Pubg universe. Formerly known as Project Arc, the game distances itself from the Battle Royale format to focus on 5 versus 5 team combat. The gameplay is described as fast and strategic, with the goal of combining the intensity of a shooter game with the tactical depth of an aerial view. The team behind the project, Arc Team and Pubg Corporation, is working together to offer a new experience to players. The game focuses on realistic and tactical battles. The central mechanic is the real-time shared vision with teammates, allowing for non-verbal communication and more cohesive combat tactics in closed environments. This feature encourages the planning and execution of team strategies. The game also includes an arsenal of familiar weapons, such as MK14 and AWM, and specialized devices such as reconnaissance drones and grenades. The name Blindspot reflects the game's design philosophy, where top-down shooting joins tactics that rely on vision, a central concept of the game. This suggests that the game explores the vision limitations inherent in this style of play, encouraging players to work together to overcome blind spots. Revelation of Decay is a zombie survival game developed by Wolfie Cat, scheduled for release in 2025. Unlike many games in the genre that focus on terror, this title presents itself as a more vibrant experience, with a pixelated and peculiar world full of bizarre anomalies. Players will explore a post-apocalyptic world facing hordes of zombies and mutant monsters, while seeking to unravel the truth behind the invasion. The game will offer open-world exploration, with 8 distinct regions, each with its own challenges and mechanics. Players will be able to awaken supernatural powers, customize weapons, and recruit up to 30 companions to help them in the fight against the zombies. A base-building system, using zombie labor, will also be present, allowing the creation of a base of operations, from agriculture to electrical automation. The game will also feature an online cooperative mode. Revelation of Decay features a pixel art visual style, with a color palette that refers to a post-apocalyptic climate with rust and orange tones. The game will be released initially in early access, with the expectation of remaining in this stage for 1 to 2 years. The full version plans to include all 8 mapped regions, Creative Workshop support, and cloud storage, in addition to more NPC characters to enrich the narrative. Blast Rush Ellas is a bullet hell style shooting game with a focus on frantic action and a unique bomb system. Developed by Bipedal Dog and published by Indie.io, the game stands out for offering an infinite supply of bombs, unlike most games in the genre that limit the use of this mechanic. The central premise involves escaping an exploding mothership, with the player facing incessant waves of enemies using their bombs and other special abilities. The gameplay of Blast Rush Ellas focuses on intense and challenging combat. Players control a spaceship and must survive increasingly complex waves of enemies, using an arsenal of bombs and other special abilities, such as destructive side swipes and a hyper dodge that slows down time. The game offers 3 distinct ships, each with 9 different types of bombs, providing variety and strategy in the plays. In addition to the campaign mode with more than 40 levels, there are additional modes such as Resistance, Random Levels, and 2 Minutes, level variants for high scores. Visually, Blast Rush Ellas features 16-bit style graphics with a chiptune soundtrack, creating a retro and nostalgic atmosphere. The game also includes a blast box, a set of 4 additional challenges that test the player's skills in unique scenarios, such as combat in the dark or races against time. An integrated library offers access to extras such as development notes, concept art, and a music player. Truxton Extreme, known in Japan as Truxton Extreme, is a shoot-'em-up developed by Truxton and published by Clear River Games. with a planned release for 2025 on PlayStation 5 and PC via Steam platforms. The game is a direct sequel to the iconic Truxton series, started in 1988 by Toplan, and carries the legacy of its predecessor with a visual and sound modernization. Under the direction of Masahiro Yuge, president of Tatsujin and creator of the original Truxton, the title promises to combine the essence of classic shmups with contemporary innovations, such as impressive 3D graphics, and an explosive soundtrack composed by Yuge himself, which mixes reimagined tracks from the original with new compositions. The narrative takes place in a future where humanity has colonized 7 Earth-like planets, living peacefully until attacked by an alien civilization called Geranium. With the military system abolished, humanity loses its colonized planets and develops an advanced tactical ship, which requires pilots to abandon their physical bodies to operate it. Truxton Extreme maintains the essence of classic shoot-'em-ups with simple but challenging mechanics, where the player pilots a ship, dodges dense patterns of projectiles, and uses weapons such as Power Shot, Truxton Beam, Thunder Laser, and Homing Shot, which can be improved by collecting power-ups.
Select your character.
Shockwave Triggers is an arcade game of the vertical shoot-'em-up genre with high-resolution pixel art graphics, which will be released soon on Steam. Developed with inspiration from the retro aesthetics of the 90s, the game features colorful and vibrant visuals with frame-by-frame animations reminiscent of the anime style of the time. The gameplay is centered on the use of shockwaves, a mechanic that allows the player to destroy enemies and cancel opposing projectiles by releasing a powerful wave of energy. In addition, the game rewards players who take risks with a bullet-grazing system that increases firepower and recharges the special attack bar when approaching enemy projectiles. The game supports precise controls with small hitboxes for the player and projectiles, and is compatible with gamepads, keyboards, and arcade sticks, all configurable. The narrative of Shockwave Triggers is simple, but adds a touch of depth to the arcade genre. The player takes on the role of a female protagonist who seeks to rescue her younger sister, kidnapped by an empire in a post-apocalyptic world that depends on crystals for energy. This plot, although minimalist, gives context to the frantic action, with the goal of defeating enemies and bosses to advance in the story. Shockwave Triggers is an arcade game of the vertical shoot-'em-up genre with high-resolution pixel art graphics, which will be released soon on Steam. Developed with inspiration from the retro aesthetics of the 90s, the game features colorful and vibrant visuals with frame-by-frame animations reminiscent of the anime style of the time. The gameplay is centered on the use of shockwaves, a mechanic that allows the player to destroy enemies and cancel opposing projectiles by releasing a powerful wave of energy. In addition, the game rewards players who take risks with a bullet-grazing system that increases firepower and recharges the special attack bar when approaching enemy projectiles. The game supports precise controls with small hitboxes for the player and projectiles, and is compatible with gamepads, keyboards, and arcade sticks, all configurable. The narrative of Shockwave Triggers is simple, but adds a touch of depth to the arcade genre. The player takes on the role of a female protagonist who seeks to rescue her younger sister, kidnapped by an empire in a post-apocalyptic world that depends on crystals for energy. This plot, although minimalist, gives context to the frantic action, with the goal of defeating enemies and bosses to advance in the story. Visegunne is an anticipated single-player shooting game developed by Zonrai Interactive, with a release announced for PC via Steam, still without a confirmed date. The title promises an intense experience with explosive missions, unique narratives, and a vast arsenal of weapons, all wrapped in impressive visual effects. Set in a dystopian future where the human soul is used as an energy source, the player takes on the role of Visegunne, an elite pilot of the Divinity Space Defense Corporation. His mission is to pilot a soul-powered mecha to protect space colonies from a pro-Earth terrorist conspiracy, led by dissidents inspired by the mysterious android Kurosh. The narrative explores deep themes, such as the struggle for peace in a scenario of global war and tensions between space colonies and a post-apocalyptic Earth. The game stands out for its unique approach to the shooting genre, being described as a bulletless shooting game, with explosive action that transforms scenarios into chaos, such as devastated cities and collapsing space colonies. Players have access to more than 20 unique weapons, which can be stolen from enemies and improved in stores, each offering distinct strategies and attack styles. Gigantes Ex Machina is an action and shooting roguelike with mechs. The gameplay is centered on the control of giant robots in dynamic battles, which requires a responsive combat system and physics that convey the sense of weight and power of the mechs. The roguelike nature of the game means that each attempt is different, with the procedural generation of phases and progression based on temporary and permanent upgrades. The game will be released in early access on PC, which allows developers to collect feedback from players to balance the gameplay and add new content. The mech mechanics and the roguelike genre are popular, and the combination of the two has the potential to create an experience with high replayability. The customization of the mechs and the variety of weapons are characteristics that can influence the tactical depth of the game. The focus on a roguelike style of play implies that difficulty is an important element, with the player's death being part of the learning cycle. Cleared Hot is a helicopter shooter with a nostalgic approach and modern physics-based mechanics. The gameplay is focused on piloting a helicopter and performing missions, combining the classic action of arcade shooters with more realistic physics. The physics system is a central technical point of the game, as it affects how objects interact and how the helicopter moves. The game features a single-player campaign with immersive objectives and the possibility of customizing the helicopter with upgrades. The variety of biomes and the alternation between day and night missions add a tactical layer to the gameplay, with the use of night vision and thermal goggles. These characteristics indicate a focus on offering a deeper experience than a simple arcade shooter. The release for PC indicates that the game is being optimized for PC hardware and interface, and the nostalgic aesthetic seeks to attract players who appreciate the classics of the genre, but with a modern look. Well, that was the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and see you in the next video.
Okay, give me an honest day's work and the bird's yours. You do actually remember how to fly this thing, yeah?
Sure. Just like riding a bike.
Woo! Look at the old man go. Okay, now head down to the farm. Need you to get my chickens back in the pen.
The chickens? You serious?
Hell yeah, I hate chasing them little cluckers around. Maybe you use that rope gently. Don't try nothing funny, I got your truck here, okay? Thanks, Travis. That's great. Hey, you mind heading back this way? A couple of them canyon boys sniffing around the yard don't feel right.
Sure, I'll see if I can scare
You are weird hot.
I'm on them. So you got a backup for that? Mondo.